Before the sun has even breached the horizon, the deep rainforest ecosystem exists in a realm of cool, quiet mystery. Governed entirely by an ancient biological clock, the jungle stirs long before the first rays of light can penetrate the thick, humid atmosphere. It is 5 o'clock in the morning, and a heavy, rolling mist completely blankets the high canopy layer. Here, rising majestically from the earth, the towering kapok tree serves as an immense wooden pillar supporting the sky. The air is densely saturated with moisture, creating a cool, muted blue dawn. Heavy drips of condensation fall rhythmically onto giant broad leaves, acting as the very lifeblood of this unparalleled neotropical habitat. As the absolute darkness slowly yields to the morning mist, the profound silence of the night is shattered by a sound that travels for miles, echoing endlessly across the entire Amazon basin. It is the deep, haunting chorus of the red howler monkey. These magnificent primates sit firmly upon moss-covered branches, their voices rolling like thunder through the sprawling green valleys. They herald the beginning of a new day, declaring their dominant presence to the waking world. Far below the misty canopy, on the dark and damp forest floor, the nocturnal shift of South American wildlife is finally coming to an end. An elusive ocelot navigates the sprawling ancient roots with absolute, calculated silence, returning from an exhausting hunt to seek sanctuary. Not far away, a vast colony of leafcutter ants marches in a continuous, unbroken line across a giant rotting log, carrying vibrant green fragments back to their subterranean fungus gardens, a silent testament to the symbiotic survival strategies sustaining this environment. Where the thick understory vegetation meets the winding, tannin-stained Blackwater river channels, the flooded Igapo forests begin to stir. The glassy surface perfectly reflects the sprawling maze of submerged woody roots. Along the steep, muddy banks, a massive capybara trudges slowly through the thick muck. This towering macrofauna thrives in the transitional zone between earth and water, calmly chewing aquatic grasses, perfectly in tune with the flawless circadian rhythm of the jungle.
By 8 o'clock, the overcast sky brightens significantly, casting a soft, diffused daylight over the boundless green horizon. The morning mist has entirely lifted, revealing the sheer immensity of the rainforest. High above the damp earth, the undisputed ruler of the skies makes its appearance. A massive harpy eagle stands upon a bare, emergent branch. With incredibly thick yellow talons gripping the wood, this apex predator scans the endless sea of leaves with calculating, lethal precision. Suddenly, a vibrant flock of scarlet macaws erupts from the thick foliage nearby, their brilliant red, yellow, and blue feathers flashing against the muted atmospheric light. Their raucous squawks echo through the branches, a stark contrast to the quiet hopping of a Hodson bird struggling to maintain its unsteady balance on a low-hanging liana. In the dense mid-story of the jungle, the intricate ecosystem mechanics are operating at maximum capacity. A stunning toko toucan delicately uses its massive orange bill to pluck ripe red figs. Meanwhile, a tiny emperor tamarin scampers nervously up a vertical vine, constantly scanning the sky for airborne threats. Beneath the surface of the slow-moving river, a different world entirely is operating in the gentle morning currents. A pale pink Amazon river dolphin, a true phantom of the flooded forest, arcs gracefully through the dark, tannin-rich water. It breaks the glassy surface with a sharp, hollow exhalation. In the darker, root-choked shallows beneath the muddy bank, a dense school of red-bellied piranhas darts nervously among the wood, their razor-sharp teeth glinting in the limited light. The river is a place of immense bounty, but also of incredible danger, representing a true hub of biodiversity. Resting perfectly still at the water's edge, an immense green anaconda waits. This colossal constrictor flickers its long forked tongue to taste the humid air, lying in terrifying ambush camouflage among the dark, wet ferns, completely invisible to the passing herds. As the morning stretches toward noon, the atmosphere of the jungle begins to undergo a drastic, punishing shift. The gentle warmth of the morning is rapidly replaced by a heavy, deeply oppressive humidity. The flat, natural light from the overcast canopy filters down through the leaves, bringing with it a crushing, inescapable heat that dictates the behavior of every living creature. The natural wildlife activity grinds to an absolute collective halt. The deafening, relentless hiss of millions of cicadas is the only sound that vibrates through the thick, rippling air, forming a sonic wall of heat. Deep in the shadowed understory, amidst the ancient rock formations and giant ferns, an incredibly massive, heavily muscled jaguar rests upon a fallen, moss-covered log. The striking golden rosette fur of the ultimate terrestrial predator rises and falls with slow, heavy breaths. Opening its powerful jaws in a lazy, tooth-bearing yawn, the great cat stretches its incredibly flexible spine, sinking sharp claws deep into the rotting wood. The king of the jungle is fully awake, but as the oppressive midday heat begins to descend like a physical weight upon the ecosystem, even the most dominant hunters must yield to the unforgiving climate. High in the airless canopy, a deeply camouflaged brown-throated sloth hangs upside down, completely motionless. It breathes incredibly slowly, exhibiting extraordinary physiological control to conserve precious moisture and vital energy. A stunning, iridescent blue morpho butterfly rests exhausted on a massive leaf, its metallic wings closed tight against the sweltering temperature. Down on the deeply shadowed jungle floor, the massive herbivores desperately seek refuge. The giant South American tapir, carrying the immense weight of its barrel-chested frame, trudges exhaustedly into a dark, stagnant pool of wet mud. With a heavy sigh, it rolls its body sideways, coating its thick hide in the cooling black sludge. Even the sleek, giant river otter has completely abandoned the warm surface waters, draped heavily over a muddy, half-submerged root. The animals exist in a profound state of stillness, enduring the ultimate test of survival. It is not until mid-afternoon, around 2:30, that the suffocating grip of the midday heat finally begins to loosen its hold on the dense ecosystem. A sudden, cool breeze rolls over the vast canopy like a massive ocean wave, swaying the millions of leaves and breathing vital life back into the stagnant forest. The golden, warm, muted tones of fading daylight pierce the dense foliage in beautiful, dusty shafts of light. The massive harpy eagle rouses from its stoic rest, violently shaking its slate-gray plumage before launching into the open air with a singular, explosive thrust of its colossal wings. The red howler monkeys resume their deliberate movement through the branches, chewing rhythmically on tough green leaves to fuel their massive bodies for the coming night. Along the steep, muddy riverbanks, the tight-knit family herd of capybaras leaves the safety of the tall aquatic grass, sliding gracefully back into the dark, cool waters. They swim powerfully, highly alert to the shifting shadows of the late afternoon. In the deep jungle understory, the spotted ocelot arches its incredibly flexible spine, stepping delicately off its resting rock to begin a silent, calculating evening stalk. Not a single dry leaf cracks beneath its soft, densely furred paws. At the water's edge, the giant green anaconda uncoils its tremendous muscular length. Slowly and deliberately, the massive serpent slides silently into the murky shallows, perfectly camouflaged beneath a thick blanket of bright green duckweed. The predators are methodically moving into position, utilizing the fading daylight to their absolute advantage. Even the Goliath bird-eater tarantula emerges from beneath a decaying log to navigate the damp forest floor. The intricate web of life is accelerating. High in the canopy, scarlet macaws engage in social squabbles, their brilliant colors catching the last rays of the day. Every creature is locked in a frantic rush to secure food, water, and safe shelter before the complete withdrawal of the sun. This fleeting, critical window of opportunity is vital. As the hours slip past 5 o'clock, the true magic and terrifying tension of the Amazonian dusk begin to unfold across the immense basin. The sky transitions rapidly into breathtaking hues of dusty purple and fiery orange, casting long, ominous shadows. The diurnal creatures urgently seek the absolute safety of their roosts and underground dens. A magnificent flock of scarlet macaws makes one final flight across the bruised sky before settling onto dark canopy branches, carefully tucking their sharp beaks deep into their soft shoulder feathers for the night. The tiny emperor tamarin clings tightly to a high vertical vine, its dark eyes frantically scanning the pitch-black jungle floor in absolute terror of the impending darkness. The playful giant river otters scramble up the slippery mud bank with their final silver catch of the day, shaking their wet fur violently before disappearing entirely into their subterranean den. The river is now a perfect, undisturbed glassy mirror reflecting the dramatic twilight sky. The pink Amazon river dolphin hovers vertically, forcefully exhaling a fine mist of water into the cooling evening air before vanishing smoothly into the dark, silent depths. The ancient black caiman, the absolute master of the aquatic night, slides its massive armored body silently off the mud bank. It swims slowly forward, with only its cold reptilian eyes and raised nostrils breaking the surface tension. But it is on the muddy riverbank where the ultimate tension of the rainforest reaches its absolute, breathtaking peak. Creeping agonizingly slowly through a thick patch of tall, dark aquatic reeds, the massive jaguar keeps its powerful belly incredibly low to the wet mud. Its intense, glowing golden eyes lock completely motionless onto the water's edge. A grazing South American tapir freezes in sheer, breathless horror. Shifting its immense weight backward, the jaguar's heavily muscled shoulders ripple under its exquisite coat, coiling inward like a massive spring. With slow, arrogant dominance, the ultimate predator steps boldly out of the reeds. turning its thick head to confidently survey its unchallenged domain, the jaguar stands completely still. Its breathtaking jet black silhouette remains perfectly